Hello, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to get your cost of goods sold accounts set up to be how you want them to be, set up specifically for your restaurant. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you haven't already, or when you're doing this, is click on the accounts button. That'll take you to this page here, and this is what yours should roughly look like when it's a brand new account in Bacon. Now, you'll notice we have cost of goods sold, then food, and bar beverage. Bar beverage is broken down to beer, which is broken down to bottled and draft beer, then wine and liquor. Now, if you look at this hierarchy, these two will total to here. So in this example, it is impossible to have a beer purchase. You can only have a bottled beer or a draft beer purchase, which will go to beer. You can have wine purchases and liquor purchases. Now, don't be tempted to add wine by the glass. Unless your restaurant purchases wine by the glass separately than bottled wine, which worked with hundreds of restaurants, no one restaurant ever does that. They share, right? Certain bottles go to wine by the glass and go to bottle. There's no way for you to separate that out. So you do not create a wine by the glass account. And then liquor, you'll see. So then these three accounts will add up to the bar beverage account. And then beverage, this is your non-alcoholic beverage. Most restaurants don't track non-alcoholic beverage separately. Most restaurants will put non-alcoholic beverage in food because it gets too complicated with things like orange juice and milk and stuff like that. So just really quickly, if you don't sell any of this stuff, then all you do is you come in here and you just click on delete and remove it immediately. Now, don't be tempted to add things like, oh, I want to track my poultry and my canned goods and my freezer items and things like that under food. That is not what Bacon is set up for. That is advanced inventory, and that is not what Bacon is designed to do. Bacon is designed to be a very simple tool to help you track your cost of goods sold and increase profits by using some really powerful tools, but it's designed to be very simple. So don't complicate this unless you are a very, very, very advanced user and truly understand this. And if that's the case, then you'd likely be using a very, very expensive, a very complicated, and a very pricey inventory tool, of which Bacon was not really designed for as of now. Another mistake that people make here is they go ahead and they add things like departments. They add things to their costs of goods sold, like the bar or the dining room or delivery or to go. You will be able to add those in the departments section, which we'll show you how to do later. But again, those are not costs of goods sold. So your cost of goods sold should look very similar to this. Now, another couple of questions we get often. People say, oh, that's a good idea. I'm not tracking bottled and draft beer separately, but I'd like to. Well, that's great. You should do that. But if you go ahead and set it up that way in Bacon, but your POS system is not set up that way, then you're not going to be able to get the correct sales data. So go ahead and either, in that situation, you're either going to have to change your POS system to make sure that your bottled beer goes to bottled beer category and your draft beer goes to draft beer category. Otherwise, when you run a sales report at the end of the day, a sales by category report, it's just going to tell you beer sales. And if you're entering in purchases different than sales, it's not going to work out for you. So pick one or the other, but make the changes and make them the same between your POS system and Bacon. Now, just very quickly, let me just show you. This is pretty self-explanatory, but you could pick any account here. Let's pick beverage, for example, and we can edit it, which I'll do in a second. We can view a sales report right from here, or we can view a purchase report right from here. We can also delete it. Now let's edit beverage really quick. The way that this is set up is we have told the system that this is a sales, cost of goods sold, or inventory account. We have named it beverage. It is the parent account, meaning it is directly under cost of goods sold. And then we have sorted it to list directly under bar beverage. Now, if you want it to list under food, which is probably more the way that people want, we'll change that and I'll show you what I mean. And then the question is, do you take inventory on this account? If you already have an inventory system and you're taking inventory, then check the yes button. And then, do you take inventory on this account weekly or monthly? If you are not currently taking inventory, Let's come back to this another time and not overcomplicate it. But I want to show you what the sorting did. So if you remember before, cost of goods sold was all the way at the bottom here, and now it's directly under food. It doesn't change anything, it just sets up the account to look a little cleaner for how you want it. But again, that's a quick overview of cost of goods sold. Now go ahead and set up your cost of goods sold accounts, and remember, if anything, you should be taking stuff away from here, but not adding stuff. If you are tempted to add things, please continue going through the entire setup process where you learn more about departments and you learn more about how this stuff works. Even shoot us a message or put a message in the Facebook group. Hey, I want to change my cost of goods sold accounts from this to this. But before you do that, please send us a message and let us know if it's the right thing to do, because we have a lot of people who do it that way, and then they come to us and ask questions about why they're not getting the data they want, and then we have to go and clear out their account, and they have to go through the whole setup process again. So please, 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 I can't stress this enough. Leave things how they are. Maybe delete some accounts, but very seldom will you need to add accounts here.